Yeah.
Oh no!
Matt, what the hell was that?
Wasn't me, coach. Welcome to the straight red card. Get off our lawn.
Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Indeed. Look at this shiny new room. You can actually see me. So what I did was actually clean my lens. You know, get all the pizza grease off of it.
Yeah.
And Vaseline. And,
it's probably the after effects of watching these videos, right?
But I didn't use the pizza grease for, that was just eating. So, yeah, everything looks better. It's a lot clearer. You can actually see me.
Start ordering your pizza on the amount of grease that comes with it for later.
Well, I make my own pizzas, so I guess they're greasy, you know. I use a lot of pepperoni and sausage.
Pepperoni.
That's what she said. The turd in the background says, "Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Happy Monday, motherfuckers." Yes. Oh, speaking of which, Sam's going to start doing a live show on Tuesdays. So you will have us on Mondays, Sam on Tuesdays, and us on Fridays.
Thursdays.
Or Thursdays, yeah.
Yeah.
Friday
was special.
I'm out partying on Fridays. I don't have time for a show on Fridays. So, you know, that'll be cool. And then if we could get like Pete to do a regular show on a certain day and then Tack to we could fill out, get Jake on another one since he's living in the USA now.
As it stands right now, guys, unless something happens, because Jake's in the midst of Ian, but
what?
He's just moving into his new house.
What's Ian?
Hurricane.
Oh, he's in Florida.
Well, that vicinity. It could be anywhere between Florida and South Carolina area because it's moving that direction.
Would you say he was in the midst
vicinity?
Yeah. You didn't say vicinity. You used a different word.
Fuck if I know anymore. It's way too. That's like yesterday, Derek. Come on.
He's deep inside Ian.
All up in it. But yeah, as it stands right now, unless something happens, Jake's going to be joining us for our Thursday show.
Yes. So, yeah, and we had a great time being on his show. So it's about time we got him. And the problem before was always that he lived in England, and the time zones were all fucked up. Yo, he says. All right. Oh, by the way, I do know if someone wants to try this. I think this will work on Pete. Try this one. Ben, B-E-N, Dover, D-O-V-E-R. I guarantee you that one will work on Pete because it looks harmless as hell, right? But it's not. I mean, it's not harmless. So try that out on Pete. I think that one will get it. I was thinking the other day of names that could get Pete. By the way, Pete, we're not doing it. These are other people. We're not chiming in. We're not doing that. Right. So I will be joining you, haha. But I was trying to move over the weekend, and I was just getting rained on from Ian coming up the coast. And thank God Ian is a thunderstorm / hurricane and not a real person. All right. So this is a big
coming all up and down that coast, huh? Really loves the beach fronts.
Well, you know. So
goddamn, Ian is back in our yard again. Son of a bitch.
I do have to say one thing before we move on to some of the actual real topics. What the fuck is it? What the fucking hell is it with these dumb mothers out there who can't figure out? See how I self-centered?
You did censor there, yeah. Notice
that was like the old days when he had her old show. I would do that all the time. And
Derek, you don't have to censor yourself. I've already ruined it so many times now.
EA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all day today, I got trapped behind idiots who don't know you can take a right on a red light. Like you can take a right because if no one's coming, guess what? You can go. It doesn't say wait for light up there. It says you can go.
Funny story about that, Derek. I have a friend, you know him, who ended up taking a right off of some. I'm going to name some streets here. Might not be right, but like 4th in College. College was northbound, right?
Is this in Bloomington?
It is in Bloomington, yes.
It's north-south, yes. College.
Yes. So he took a right on College, but he did it on a red light. He got pulled over and got a DUI.
Oh.
Because It was a no turn on red
intersection. There are some of those. I realize this.
The sad thing was, he was like only like 3 beers in and was just slightly over. It was the dumbest thing in the world. Perfectly fine.
Well, that new .08. I mean, you drink 2 Belgian beers, you're fucked at .08.
Yeah.
Because they're like 11 to 13%, some of them. So you're just screwed. So I couldn't even go out and have a good time. I could have 1 beer. That was it. And then I had to drink fucking shitty beer. Ed B is the sickest. In what way are you the sickest, Ed? I mean, sickest at like, I don't know. You're like the best rower, you know? I'm the sickest rower. Or maybe you're the best dart player, you know? I want to know what makes you the sickest. And I like that because it could have 2 meanings. Like you could be sick good at stuff, or you really just could be sick. I don't know. Erectile dysfunction. I read it, and I know what you're getting at.
Nicely done.
I'm beginning to wonder myself if I might have an issue.
I would imagine, though, with that long of a name, I feel like he might catch on to that.
He probably would maybe read that.
But I like that. That's a nice way of wording it.
Yeah, I do like that. I think he wouldn't. He would read it first and not understand the sentence. So it has to. I think it's easier to do in the name, like your name. Ed B is the sickest. Like you could probably figure out a way to concoct a name and I like bend over. I think that'll work against Pete. But if you can catch Tack,
$2, Ed. Appreciate that.
If you can catch Tack reading one, then we will. What will we do? We'll send you a free t-shirt.
I'll be impressed. Now, Tack, don't you give in and just say, "Oh, I didn't get that one."
Oh, see all these free t-shirts?
I want a serious one. That I got.
Free t-shirts we're giving away. Sparkle Duck is back to being Sparkle Duck.
Yeah, he's got a dog for a pick this time, though.
He just fucking gave up on all those other ones he was doing. I take my Pete trolling very seriously. I do too. Haven't trolled Pete. I don't think ever. But you know, it's obviously fun when others do it. So, and you guys try to troll us. We're just enjoying it. We love the names, so keep bringing them on. Tarantula says Taranteletta. Taranteletta. I'm making up
Tarantula.
Taranteletta. All right. Pete laughed at a name the other day and just read it anyway and laughed. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's the Pete we want to see. I know he's really upset by that last game though. So
he was upset, but he towards the end of that live stream, he started lightening up about it. And I wanted to jump in there, but I was like, I couldn't at the time. But he's like, yeah, we need to get. This would have been a game where this would have been a live stream that would have been good to have the straight red card guys in because I feel like they would have lightened it up, you know.
Yeah, that needed some lightening up, that's for sure.
Jake is calling you guys out right now. Just so
I am untrollable. All right, let's take some questions, or if we have some in the comments already.
Terry says, note to self, troll Pete when the U.S. men's national team lose.
Well, you might have 3 chances to do that coming up in the World Cup. Let's hope not. I know, I hate to be negative Nancy, but
I'll wait for some stuff to come up on the chat. Let's pull up a nice little article here.
Oh yeah, because you had to deal with Twitter and all that this week. I did not. So you have actual material.
So our good friend Bentley from Twitter. Hope you cannot read that.
There we go. MLS transfers. Source. Cade Cal has interest from multiple La Liga clubs. He doesn't speak French, but that doesn't really matter. Stade de Reims. That is where our homeboy
would be Spanish. He doesn't speak Spanish.
La Liga. No. Wait, but Stade de Reims is France. In France.
Yeah, I'm saying it probably has multiple La Liga teams and a Ligue 1 team.
That is really weird the way he words this.
Well, this was MLS transfers that worded it.
Just hold on. Cade Cal has interest for multiple La Liga league clubs, and then the first club that he lists is French, so that's why it threw me off.
Yeah.
All right. I was waiting for a list of Spanish clubs, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Belgian plays at Reims. And by the way, I don't know. Tack has a weird way of pronouncing. He's saying like Hems or something like that. I think you actually do pronounce the R. I think it is Lems.
Whose team?
Lems.
Oh.
Lems. Anyhow, well, that's how we say it in
I mean,
German.
I heard Pete mention it this afternoon, but I've already forgotten it.
All right. Yes. Stutterums.
The Reims.
Reims. Hey, baby.
Now it's a town in Indiana, so we're good.
Right.
Reims.
Has also had an offer rejected in the summer and wouldn't be surprised if they offer again. Most likely to be sold this winter.
Yeah, the summer one was Everton, I thought.
He's never going to play for Everton. I'm sorry. I don't like being a negative Nancy, but he's not that good, and he's got a ceiling, and it's pretty obvious at this point. He's a one-dimensional player. He's very quick, but he can't really pass very well. He's not technical. He won't survive there. Let's just put it that way. He'll come back to MLS. He's going to be and listen, I've always said this. You said it. If we get it wrong, we eat crow publicly in front of you. We eat it. We eat the crow and say, I was wrong.
Trust me, we want Cade to do well.
Yes.
I'm just saying, from my experience, I haven't really watched much of him at San Jose, so I can't base it off that. But off the U20, U23 Olympic, U20 World Cup qualifying that they did, I don't know why he got so much playing time. I mean, I know that they were shuffling the minutes around, but come on, that was not so good.
Yeah, I don't think he blew anybody's dick off after playing there. So, I mean, there's just no way. So, yeah, I'm happy for him. I hope he can make some big bucks, but in the end, he's coming back to MLS, or he'll play in Belgium on a lesser team or something like that. But I just don't see him. He's not even busting balls at fucking San Jose. You know, let's see. Graf Boussier, a good French name. I am a San Jose fan, and I'm not sure he'd fit La Liga. He's not super good on the ball, but he's fast and strong. He's kind of like a lesser effective Jordan Morris.
It's almost like you can read the comment section, Derek.
I don't. I promise you, I do not read the comment section for fear of this computer collapsing. Cal is another Morris. Yeah, that's true.
Here you go.
Rico Po. R in Limbs pronounced as an H is tax Brazilian Portuguese coming through. Okay. I was wondering what the fuck team is he saying that Balogun's playing for? I'm like, Hims? No. It's Rims.
Isn't Hims like a new type of Viagra type of drug?
It might be. I spread some Hims on my nutsack and everything was better, I guess. Buy Hims now at your local Playboy or Penthouse store. Those don't exist anymore. Although, isn't there a Hustler store on 86th Street? I swear to God there is.
I don't know if it's Hustler or not, but there used to be a Priscilla's and it was Cirilla's.
No,
I don't know what it is now.
No, this is definitely Hustler on 86th Street. Someone look that up. Go to Google Maps and say.
It's for Hims.
All right.
Is that a hair thing? I thought it was. Yeah, maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know.
I thought it was another Viagra thing.
Whatever it does, it grows shit. So,
guys, if you could add Hims on Twitter and see if we can get that sponsorship going.
I'll take it. Although that's not true because we have been offered multiple sponsorships and we've turned them all down so far. I'm not kidding. We have. In some cases, we haven't even replied. That's probably not a good job by me. I should probably at least reply to them. But the fact is, I really don't know if I want a commercial on our show. I haven't, like Brett and I have talked about it. We're kind of like, I don't want to do one of those concocted, videos that we throw in the middle. We'll just
do like a 30-minute segment before we actually start the show, just like we do with the countdown shit.
Can somebody look up Hustler on 86th Street in Indianapolis? I believe they have a store there. Now, don't get in too much trouble, but it looks like, based on Sam, is they have one down in Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Manscaped.
I think Manscaped, Sasquatch soap, or whatever the fuck that thing is called. I think those would be great for our show. They're funny. They're fun.
That's Manscaped, by the way. That's how we spelled it. It's like a beheading. I love when motherfuckers get beheaded. He gets his man's capped. All right, more?
There you go. That's what, to your point. Everybody's doing the Bet Online one. That is one that we got passed along to, right?
I love the way how, I don't know if he's told to say this, but Tack's like, and remember, no one gets rich betting. So don't fucking do it effusively.
Don't bet online.
He's like, I just told you to do all this betting, but by the way, it's not going to make you rich. So fuckers, just know that. All right. Do we have any other tweets you wanna wrestle with?
Yeah. Let's pull up another 442 that came up on Twitter.
Okay.
To us. We got tagged on by Keyboard Warrior.
All right, Keyboard Warrior.
Calcium Ball or Money Balls. 442.
We can try to win, or we can fuck around and find out. This is what USMNT and A tits and ass. U.S. Men's National Tits and Ass.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So we got Turner at goalkeeper. Okay. Got Dest and Jedi out wide.
That's fine.
Sure. Richards and EPB.
Yeah, I'm not buying EPB yet.
Well, not with Berhalter at least.
I mean, he's doing fine at Troyes, except for this weekend when he got scored on by Balogun and Rems, and they lost.
He was on Pete's Team of the Week.
Yes, and he deserved it. Even though he lost, I guess. I don't know. Did he?
You're just like bagging on him, like, he got scored on by Balogun and he lost.
I know.
He deserves to be on the Team of the Week.
That's what I texted you too. I'm like, man, Balogun just scored on fucking EPB. Listen, I just haven't seen enough outside of his, his footage on Troyes to really know how good EPB is doing. He seems like he's doing just fine, but when I've seen him on the national team, which has been extremely rare, he's always pulling like a hammy or something, and then going right back to his club team and starting. I don't understand how that works. You get hurt all the time when it's call-up time, but then you're fine and you go back to your club and start right away. Anyhow, Richards still not available for Crystal Palace, so concerning. I don't mind this lineup at all, but I'm just really nervous with that very young center back pairing. Although the way Zimmerman played this weekend for Nashville, wow.
So Keyboard pointed out though that Zimmerman had a really nice long ball that led to a goal. He didn't get the assist or anything like that. Maybe a hockey assist, I guess. But he also nice long ball. And he goes, man, if he can keep providing these type of long balls, I'd be fine with that.
He also had a turd for brain pass back to the goalie that gave up a goal. So
they washed.
He did have a header for a goal, though.
Oh, now he's up one. There you go.
No, they lost 2-1.
That's what I'm saying.
And both goals were.
He made a nice long ball, but he gave the ball away. He gave a nice long ball that led to a goal. He gave the ball away that led to a goal, and then he scored a goal. So he's up one technically.
You don't make a nice long ball; you grow one.
Hey-o.
It takes time. All right. Pulisic on the left, McKennie on the right. Yes, it's where he played today, or this weekend, for Juventus, and got an assist. So I don't have any real issue with that. De La Torre and Musa in the middle. Where did Adams go?
Bench.
I'm not doing that. I'm having
there's definitely a contingent of the fan base that just doesn't really like Adams all that much. I mean, it's their opinion. They can say whatever they want.
Without Adams, this weekend Leeds loses that game.
Adams had a solid fucking match.
I mean, and he's playing with 10 men.
Yeah.
All right, so Leeds is playing with 10 men, and they hold on for a 0-0. And he was all over that goddamn field.
Man, that ref just wanted to card the shit out of Leeds, man.
He hated Leeds.
You looked at him wrong. Yellow card.
He hated Leeds, and yet,
seriously,
Aston Villa, they were brutal. They were fouling everybody. Every time Aronson touched the ball, he got hacked down. No yellows for that, especially that whiny bitch, Young, on the other team.
Yeah, no, he got slaughtered that game. So many times, just bowled over.
I think
it was so bad. I don't know.
I saw some criticism of Aronson that, he lost some, but okay, he lost some balls. But when you do what Aronson does, that is drive at the defense, you're going to lose some balls. Because no one else besides Sinistera on that team and Bamford later in the game does that. No one does.
Harrison does normally, but he hasn't done it for the last couple games.
Only out wide. He doesn't do it down the middle of the pitch like Aronson does.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But that was the same thing I said about Pulisic, because people are like, oh, he gets dispossessed a lot. Not necessarily recently, because he's not been having a great form of games.
Mm-hmm.
But like even the last season before, like he's gonna take the player on. And you know what? 40-50% of the time, maybe he gets stuck, or maybe he gets dispossessed, or maybe he makes an errant pass. It happens. But the other 50% of the time, he's cutting through a couple players and opening up opposition, or teammates.
It's really hard to say, had he not been hacked down, what Aronson could have done on those plays. But what he did do was earn his team several good set pieces outside of the box, which led to nothing. And then almost score at the very end off a rebound off a Bamford shot.
They had their chances. I think Aston Villa had a lot of chances. But kind of random. We're jumping into the topic, one of the topics at least. But we don't have to worry about talking about Leeds later. I'll tell you much.
Yeah, we kind of just did all of Leeds right there. And who do we have up top? P. fucking where? I mean,
so this is a lineup that does not consist of Reina, and it does not consist of Adams
or Aronson.
But,
Yeah. Listen,
it's a 4-4-2. I mean, I guess you'd have to take McKennie out for Aronson, which in McKennie's current form, I'd be fine with.
You give me Brooks in the back with one of those two kids, and I'm fine with it. Yeah. Because I need a veteran.
These two will do a good job controlling the midfield and running it up and down.
Although I would prefer Adams. It would allow Musa to be more free.
Sure. I would almost, like I said, just, pinch these two fuckers in, and all of a sudden you have the 4-2-2-2.
That's what I would do with this.
That's your empty bucket.
I would do a 4-2-2-2, and I would definitely have Adams and Musa play next to each other, kind of like an Oroka. Like he does with Lees.
Yeah.
Graf, Bussier. Brooks has to be the 9 for me. He's in top form. He did come in at the very end of the game for Benfica as a forward. Just threw him in the box and started lobbing balls at him. So
David D says 40%. 90% of the time it works every time.
All right.
So, this was a fun lineup, and it'd be fun to see happen. Actually,
it's entertaining.
Why not give it a chance at some point? But not necessarily going to happen in the World Cup by any means.
None of it's blasphemous.
Yeah,
at all. It's completely acceptable lineup. I just have small disagreements with it here and there. That's all. Don't we all? If I agree with this 100%, wouldn't I be really boring?
I mean, you can make an argument for this lineup too. I mean, the only thing would be is I know McKennie plays this position in Juve quite a bit, but you probably get more out of Aronson being there.
Probably, yeah.
But then again, you'd miss out on McKennie's crashing of the box. Aronson's okay at it, but McKennie's just stellar at that.
I think the way this is lined up would force McKennie to stay out wide quite a bit.
Whitish, yeah. I mean, again, he does that for Juve quite a bit.
You already got Weah and Pflock clamoring up the middle.
Yeah.
And if you've got the ball in your McKennie, Pulisic's pinching in. So, God Kong Snake. I honestly don't mind Berhalter's 4-3-3. I don't mind a 4-3-3. I can't stand Berhalter's version of it.
I don't like the 4-3-3 with our players, quite frankly, because I feel like Pulisic and usually Reina are left to these corners of the field that they don't have their strength. Their strength is Reina's a bit different, I guess. Let's go with Pulisic, because Pulisic's strength is having the room to run with the ball and take players on. I think the 4-2-2-2 would be better suited for Pulisic. I think a 4-3-2-1 would be good with the players on hand that we have.
I think a 4-2-3-1 would be good.
Yeah, basically having our 9 act as a fucking 9. Let's not have him pinch back into the midfield and have the wings play up higher and all that shit. Fuck that.
I think you can play a 4-3-3 in a mid block, and not be, play it in a way that's let's be brave out of the back. You can hack that out of the tactics as well, and play. You can play a say 4-3-3. You don't have to play a Dickless Wonder sort of 4-3-3, which is what we play, where nothing ever happens. It's just possession for possession's sake. And in the case against Japan,
non-movement formation is what it is. Bleh.
So did Hoppy get his manager fired? The one in Borough?
Yeah, Borough manager got fired.
Oh, no, he didn't, because his manager is the U21 manager. It's
well
true.
played. Well played. And it stung a little bit.
It hurts because we're big hockey fans, but the truth is he played for their U21s. So most recently, and doesn't look like he's going to get a sniff with the big boys anytime soon. Really disappointing. Almost as disappointing as Conrad riding Pine and not even making the 18 at Olympiacos. And he's healthy, by the way.
I don't know. He's like one of the players at this point that I'm like, at this point we could probably stop talking about him until he starts doing something.
Oh yeah, definitely. I only brought him up because we brought up Hoppy.
Shame. Yeah, and I guess the same could be said about Hoppy too. It hurts, like I said. We're both pretty high on him.
Yeah, but see, the difference is I have no hope for I have no hope at all for Conrad, and I have still hope for Hoppy. I think there's some hope there, and it's just because of we're talking about the gut factor there. Hoppy's got big old bags of nuts, whereas Conrad seems like a guy who's
two of them to be precise.
Conrad seems more like a butterfly. Like, he likes to do his own thing. He's chaotic neutral.
Speaking of which, I guess let's run into that.
Oh yeah.
So football moments on Twitter had provided us a nice D&D characterization of the content curators that he thinks fits all the different types of characters you could have in D&D. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But
I did too, but I had to look a lot of them up because I haven't played fucking Dungeons and Dragons since I was like 12 years old. So yeah. I don't remember any of these, and I don't even know if they were around back then. I think they were, because they sounded familiar.
There we go. I tried to get them all in there.
I know, and I had to look up chaotic neutral, and I'm like, I don't really think we're chaotic neutral.
I feel like we're smack dab in the middle here.
Of good and neutral.
Right where chaotic neutral's at.
Because
we're like chaotic good neutral.
We do care about good and evil. We really do. We don't talk about it here because a lot of that in real life is hard to talk about. And, could lead us down a road we really don't want to go. But I think we've been pretty clear about saying who's evil. I mean, I'm not a fan of Klinsman, and I've been very vocal about that for years. Mm-hmm. As a person, I think he's full of shit and he's an arrogant prick. I said the same thing about Preki. I said the same thing about some people that we know, but not now, but I mean in the past. So I'm not going to really hold my tongue for that. We do want our freedom. Yes.
My take is we embrace the chaos and everybody's fair game.
Yeah. Yep.
We rib on our friends. We poke fun of people we don't like.
Yeah.
It's all fair.
Definitely doesn't make us neutral. I mean, look at how pissed I get at some of these comments that come up. If I think you're evil, I'm going to let you know. Now, listen, just because I disagree with you doesn't make you evil either. So we're just going to disagree sometimes. So I may love the shit out of you, but we're going to disagree. Football moments. You're all good. Don't worry. I just had only 9 boxes. Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I think it's a cool chart, man. I was reading it. I was kind of going, lawful good. Yeah, that really is Jake, isn't it? But isn't it? It's not always. Sometimes, Jake can go after some motherfuckers. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just overall take.
But with
overall
comedy,
approach on life.
What's the one show he did where Berhalter he's Berhalter? He has the same sort of, setup with the bald head and all that. And he has a character that he plays as Berhalter, and he interrupts Jake at his computer. There's cuts back and forth. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty quality video he had there.
Yeah. Al Weinstein. I don't try to think you're chaotic neutral. Charles Manson was chaotic neutral. I think Charles Manson was chaotic evil, my friend. Yeah. As far as I understand it.
Yeah, my response was, we do whatever we want, whenever we want, so long as it abides the rules and regulations set forth is what I meant to say, by YouTube, our corporate overlords.
Yeah.
If that isn't chaotic neutral, then I don't know what is.
I think that I get it. I get what you're saying there, but at the same time, we know that they're evil. We know YouTube's evil. We're well aware of that. We don't live in a false consciousness. Look that up, by the way, if you don't know what that means. We know who basically can basically take us off air at any minute. And we know that they're evil because they've done some evil shit to other people too. So there you go. We don't live in a fantasy world. Let's just put it that way.
Some people just want to see the world burn.
Manson just wanted chaos, antisocial. I guess, if you believe he had nothing to do with telling all those other kids to go slaughter those other people, evil is Hitler and cameraman. We can agree on that.
It's too far.
I guess if you don't believe it had anything to do with the plotting of those murders, then I guess, Berlin Amerikaner, false conscious. Very good, comrade. False consciousness. But yes, you're right. It is typically known as a Marxist term. However, I don't think that applies anymore. I think if you live in a Marxist communist state and you don't understand that the state is basically can do anything it wants to you, then, and you're still happy living under that situation, of course, then that makes you have false consciousness as well. But I guess in a perfect Marxist state, which doesn't exist, and utopia doesn't exist either. Anyhow, this is getting too philosophical. Why don't we get a room? All right, next.
Sorry, I had my ESPN just dung, and I like those. This is going to be more interesting than hearing about false consciousness.
Brett, it would. I
was enthralled.
It would do you some good to read some philosophy sometime. It would. It really would. All right. Anyhow,
fair enough. Fair play.
Regardless, you don't have to. There's not a lot of time right now for you to do it.
Chris got it going. Sounds like some commie gobbledygook.
It isn't anymore. But yes, it was a Marxist term early on. It was basically that the masses didn't realize that the capitalistic society in which they lived was their ruler, and they were mere pawns in the game, and peasants basically. And yet they embraced capitalism because they thought it was their friend, but it wasn't. So that's how the terminology false consciousness started. But in later works by other people, false consciousness has been redefined. Anyhow, so now they get Berliner. God damn it. Don't get me started in philosophy. I'll be here all night. All right.
There you go, Derek. You guys can talk it over there.
Come to my OnlyFans room.
You talk about philosophy. Gets me going. What can I say?
Do you have to believe in God to be a transcendentalist? No, you don't, by the way. Anyhow, debate amongst yourselves. The Civil War was neither civil or a war.
Reaching back.
Chris Gary, someone called Senator McCarthy.
They're supposed to commie here.
Okay, I'm just telling you that several of my classes, advanced classes in college, were philosophy classes. So, yes, I read a lot of that stuff. Excuse me. And I was a political science minor. So there you go.
So football moments. Great meme here. This is perfect. Loved it. It's obviously our thumbnail. How could we not introduce that to it?
We're very selfish. You put us in it and it's positive. Or even neutral. We'll take it.
Just think of the Mortal Kombat meme where main villain guy is like, "Your meme is mine," instead of "Your soul is mine."
No, see, I never played that game, so that one would just go right over my head.
Yeah,
isn't that game that you could play?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. And people would be playing at the arcade. By the way, there was
just dated yourself there, Derek. Arcade. What's this arcade word you're talking about?
For the youngers of you, arcades were places where you would go to actually play games. Yeah. They weren't called video games yet. They were called arcade games. And they had,
you'd go and drop a minor fortune of quarters playing these games.
Yes, you would. And you could not communicate through the machine to other players using other machines.
Instead, while you're controlling one side of the controllers, somebody else controlled over here, and you played against them like literally 6 inches from each other. That's
on
how
the screen. Right. Sometimes you throw a little elbow at them, Yeah. You're like, hey. You know, one of those chicken wings. Quit kicking my ass, motherfucker. All
yeah,
right.
the Simpsons arcade was classic.
Yep.
That was a good one. That one, the Turtles in Time, that was a great game. Spent mucho money on that.
Don't remember that one.
Turtles in Time?
Nope.
It's classic.
I didn't. I mostly stuck to the racing ones, not surprisingly.
Human Contact.
Ooh. There's still people running around. I saw a lady today at Walmart with a mask on and her 2 kids had, and they were like 5 and 6 with their masks on. No one else in the store wearing a mask. So either they've got it and they don't want to give it to other people. I hope that's the reason. Or they're living in fear, which is bad.
Double Dragon, another good one.
Arnold Maldonado.
Sorry. I didn't realize you were reading it.
Ever play Double Dragon? Sounds like some sort of weird sex move, but no. Never did it.
Yeah, they're thinking of the, what is it? The Devil's Horn is what you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
2 dudes.
No.
Well, chicken there. Chicken between, but yeah.
A chicken in between?
The chicken, yep.
So what's a double dragon? We met up with Misty and gave her a double dragon. She was very appreciative and moaned gently. All right. What do we got coming next? And when I say coming, I mean COMINT.
Hey, we got an Alexi Lawless tweet. I know you guys have probably talked about this on Twitter ad nauseum because it came out over the weekend. But Derek's not on Twitter, and he's unaware of this because I didn't send it to him at all.
Oh, what did he say now?
No, well, he just posted a comment from Kellen Acosta talking about the fandom.
Oh, well. I know.
I was gonna let you read Kellen Acosta's comment.
All right.
There.
Let's do it.
You need me to blow that up?
Nope, it's fine. That's what she said.
Hey, that's what he said.
This is Colin in the small, right?
Yeah, Kellen is in the small.
Okay. American soccer, civil war, and cannibalism that colors so much of the U.S. men's national team.
Ignore Lawless. We'll pull that back up.
Well, it's important to know what the context is before I read this. And basically,
read the whole thing then.
All right. Here's Kellen Acosta to Soccer America on our evergreen American soccer, civil war, and cannibalism. Oh, God, that's so excessive. That colors so much of the U.S. men's national team discussion. It is neither a civil war nor even anywhere near cannibalism, although I know he's using those as metaphors. They're excessive metaphors. Here we go. I don't want to open up a whole can of worms, and I'm not, this is Kellen Acosta, trying to stir the pot by any means, but people have a negative outlook on MLS. I don't. They automatically think that if you're from MLS, you're not good enough. Not automatically. And if you're in Europe, you have to be in the team. Not true.
No.
Now, that's not necessarily the case by any means. People fail to understand. I don't think they do. Some do. That nowadays it's just trendy to say that. I get it, but they use the results of the team and MLS players as scapegoats. If the game isn't going well, it's because of someone from MLS. But if so-and-so was there, it wouldn't happen. It's a coulda, shoulda, woulda, kind of frustrating, but that's football, and you have to deal with it. Instead of preying on the downfall of players on the team, if you really uplift, promote, and help them, I'm sure we would have a stronger team. It's crazy. People want to see certain guys fail so bad just to prove their point, but it's like, don't you want the team to do well? Yeah, we do.
So let's take the middle paragraph because that's the big one.
Who's he talking about? Who's getting shit on a lot? Areola?
I'm sure he's kind of talking about himself to an extent.
Him? I mean, some people shit on Zimmerman.
Him, Leggett, Roldan, Areola.
Yeah, but we got a bunch of former MLS players on the team. Nobody bitches about Turner. No one bitches about, well,
Pepe.
not as Zimmerman, Pepe. There's
Long. Chris Gary brought up a good one for one that gets shit on.
Long gets shit on a lot, but he's earned it.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying.
Jordan Morris. Forgot about him.
But those guys are having bad seasons. Long, Morris, they're not playing well in MLS either. So it's like, I can't lie to people and say, oh yeah, fucking Morris is spectacular. He should be on the team. Now, when Morris was spectacular, I had him on the team, but he's not anymore. I think Jordy is a great example of that.
Yep.
People are really high on him. Another MLS product. So I don't think this is an MLS thing.
No.
I really don't. It isn't for me. It might be for other people. And if that's
and there are some people that are flat out, MLS sucks. And I understand that. That's they're right. Again, they're the fan. They're allowed to have that thought process,
even though it's stupid.
It may just be a matter of preference, and they're looking at saying, well, the Big Five, so much better to watch than this crappy MLS. Sure, okay. Well, you can say that about 90% of the club, 90% of the leagues out there in general.
Yeah,
but as a whole, the argument that if the results for the national team's bad, MLS players are the scapegoats, MLS bad. That's a failure to understand, because what happens is the mainstream media as a whole, especially a lot of the MLS shills. I'm using MLS shills as a terminology, saying people who are paid by MLS to promote MLS.
Right.
So when those people see, like, people talk about, oh my God, Long, awful this match, blah 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 blah, and they're like, well, Long did this, and he was actually went downhill after this, and they highlight the MLS one, so it's a constant talking point. But they ignore the times when we bag on Adams for missing a shit ton of passes and having a bad game, or Pulisic playing hero ball, or McKinney not being in form. They miss all that shit.
Yeah, I mean,
we bagged on Sargent for a long time because he wasn't fucking producing.
We told him we basically said he had no nuts in his bag.
Yes,
I mean, we were busting his balls, so it goes both way on this highway. We bust everybody.
The problem is nobody highlights it when we bitch about the Euro players. Nobody talks about that.
No,
it's always about when you talk about the MLS players. All of a sudden, that gets quote tweeted. People run rampant with that shit, and it's not an anti-MLS thing, because, like you mentioned earlier, we have no problem with MLS players. We have MLS players that we would like to see, but haven't had the chance.
Eric Williamson, we've mentioned him several times.
Like to bring him back, yes.
We've mentioned Jordy. So, I mean,
what's Collins' left back at New England? What's his face? Dwan Jones.
Yeah.
Well, let's give him a look. Fuck it, why not?
Sure.
He's
give
doing
him a look. Fuck, I mean, we already know we're getting with Vines. So, give him a look.
People wanted to see Vasquez for a long time.
Yeah. And vice versa, when people go to Europe, or we're in Europe, like Conrad, I mean, we've been busting his balls because he's not playing. We've been pretty harsh on Bello since he's gone to Europe and said, I don't care if he's in Europe, he still sucks.
Busio, Testament, nobody's saying these players need to be on the team. I mean, some people are saying Busio still, but we're not sitting here saying, like, next window, if Busio's not on there, we revolt. Nobody's saying that shit. We're saying Scally needs to be on there because he's playing in a top-tiered league on top-ish, middle-ish team.
Busio did not look like he belonged in Serie A, and he, for a while, hasn't looked like he's belonged in Serie B. But he's having better games now, so we'll see. Lefty Quixote.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we already talked about Jordy.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Jordy would be a great one to have in there. We've been talking about it. I know Berhalter wanted to get him in there, but then the injury occurred. He had an interview with a halftime or post game or something with one of the Montreal games. He's on the a broadcast, and he talked about getting called up and then getting injured, and maybe he can work his way into the conversation for the World Cup, but unlikely. Maybe it's going to have to be next cycle. Here are a couple other names of Euro players that nobody's really pushing for hardcore. Cole Bassett, Austin Trusty, Daryl Dike.
And there are about another 150 more that we don't even talk about that are in Europe. All right.
So the concept of that, it's Europe good, MLS bad, is a non-talking point, and people just want to make it bigger. And I know Kellen doesn't want to open up the can of worms, but you kind of open up the can of worms when you do this.
I'm sorry, I was the biggest Landon Donovan fan for years, and everybody called him what, Twinkie Boy or whatever. Soft because he wouldn't go to Europe.
Landy Cakes, there it is.
Landy Cakes, yeah. I still support and still thought he was one of the best players, and I still fucking lost my shit when Klinsmann cut him. That was it. Yeah. I was done with that German right there. Done with that German. All right. So I think it's just, I don't know. If you're running into trolls who are just trolling and saying that shit about MLS, then I would just ignore them. I don't know. Or call them whatever you want. I mean, you can't call them names anymore, because then you get banned or whatever, right? So you call people names?
You get canceled for calling people names. Don't do that.
Okay.
But yeah,
so don't call them names. Just tell them how stupid their fucking argument is. Well, don't call them stupid. Just say your argument's stupid. I guess you can't even do that anymore, can you?
Yeah, we still do.
Yeah. Just
But
in different words.
The concept of praying for the downfall of players on the team.
Nobody does.
Nobody's. If it is, it's literally the
It's a
smallest
tiny group.
minority, like a handful at most.
A handful of psychotic motherfuckers.
The vast majority of people are simply saying, "Why is Berhalter calling Long in again?" Or why is he starting him? That's it's not an insult to say you're not as good as somebody else for the international game. You're not. Right. You're not that quality. I'm sorry.
And it's not.
It's not going to hurt my feelings if you say, Brett, you're not U.S. men's national team quality. Like, oh shit, yeah, I'm a little overweight. I'm out of practice. Sure.
Well, I'm just saying that I don't think that saying Long is not good enough for the national team when he's played poorly. Also, being able to say he's played poorly when he's played poorly, I think that's just being honest. He's not good enough for this team. He is a Berhalter favorite, and he doesn't even fit in a Berhalter system, which is hilarious. It's hilarious.
And as we talked about with Conrad before, I guess during early qualifying, Zimmerman, generally speaking, for most of qualifying at least, was playing lights out because he's sitting there thinking to himself, being at like whatever it was, like 28 years old or whatever, he's 29, like this is my last opportunity. I've got to make every fucking game count. I think Long probably thinks that too, but
he does.
There's a difference in level of quality, I think, quite frankly.
Yeah, there is.
Even talking about the MLS guys.
You got to take into account Long's injury too. A ruptured Achilles is a massive thing, and he's just not looked the same player since he's been back. I know he's been up and down in MLS this season, and their bad play has not all been his fault alone. I'm not saying it is, but he's a leader. And if he's leader and he's at full health and full fitness and he's moving like he used to, I think he's worth a lot more with a good center back pairing for New York. But
yeah,
David D, a couple hundred players in Europe, only 26 roster spots, 20 to 25 more for pool depth. That leaves plenty of players in Europe out of the picture. Tons of them.
Yep.
Absolutely loads of them. Has anybody said the word Taylor Booth lately? No, they haven't. And no one cares about Taylor Booth because he's a fucking bench warmer at Utrecht. So no one's calling for him to be starting or getting on the squad. I think most of us have given up on Hoppy as much as we love him for this roster. It's over. He didn't earn it. So, damn it, there's those little fucking ants again. LUFC.
One by one, hurrah.
Those little bastards won't die. Bentley, back at it again. People just ignore a ruptured Achilles like it's nothing. That's a massive injury. It is a massive injury. Mm-hmm. The fact that he's back at all and playing competently this early is surprising. And it's not like massive amounts of competence, but you still believe he's an MLS soccer player. Let the cat in. Cat's not here today, but he did come back yesterday. But this time he didn't linger. He just came to my screen door, went meow, and then turned around and left. I even tried to give him a piece of my chicken. I was eating chicken at the time, and I said, "Kitty, kitty, 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 kitty." Apparently his name is not Kitty because he did not come back. All right. So that's that quote. Andy Mead.
You remember Andy from the good old days?
That name sounds really familiar. What did we have?
He was the photographer that told us we need to take his pictures out of our videos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's my photo, and you can't use that.
Unless
you want to go to my website and pay me money.
Yeah,
we took his photos, and then we just cartoonized them.
I feel his pain. Yeah. I mean, we pay.
He's doing his work, but
yeah, we pay if we could back then.
We weren't making any money on YouTube anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Making all of our royalties, all of them. We didn't have any.
Let's see what he says here. So many so-called U.S. men's national team fans on Twitter want the team to fail in Qatar just so they can say they were right about Berhalter. No, I don't think. Again, there might be a percentage of people that want that. I would like us to do well. In fact, I had tiny bits of hope. Here, I was pressing hope into my fucking pores during qualifying, saying, "We're going to get in. We're going to get in. Believe it. Hold on."
Pull something up here, actually. But keep talking.
And he goes on to say, I thought Klinsmann was a terrible choice, but I still wanted the team to win in Brazil. I wanted them to qualify for Russia. Yeah, I think the same thing goes for most people who are, living in a rational world. If you let your hatred of Berhalter, make you want this team to fail and utterly fail, for me, that's a painful thing, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not happy. If we go there and get our asses kicked, it's going to be a horrible World Cup. And I don't have a whole lot of them left, folks. So listen, if Berhalter,
gotta make the most of them, Derek. Come on.
If Berhalter, has this massive testicular disease on the way on the plane over, and he has to be hospitalized, and someone else takes over the team while he's gone, and we make it all the way, I'm going to be happy as hell. Even if Berhalter manages to somehow pull it off because, the players play so amazingly, or suddenly they understand his system. They do a mind meld, the Spock thing, and everybody gets it, and they go out and they feel comfortable and they play fluidly. But that's probably not going to happen.
So this goes into what we were saying about this real quick. But nobody wants us to fail. But go ahead and read this real quick.
When the dust settles and the November 21 rolls around, valid concerns about system and personnel will give way to the undeniable excitement of a first World Cup in 8.5 years. Potentially for the first time, our friends and family will be watching with us. They will be. I know we're all going to be catching that game versus England at my parents' house.
So this is a mini thread. I'll go up and show you what I wrote here. But American Soccer Crash Course is doing a podcast for the common folk, fair weather fans who don't follow a lot of soccer shit in general, but like soccer. Mm-hmm. Give them a follow on Twitter. Check out their podcast. It's on Apple, whatever. I haven't listened to any of their stuff yet. I plan to. So
they're going to start every show with like basic soccer 101?
More or less. That's what it seems like. I mean, I can go through the thread and all, but it's basically what it sounded like.
When soccer started, most teams played a 2-2-5.
They played with a severed head.
Let's start from the beginning.
So my quote tweet was, while concerns and lack of confidence may take hold of us on game day, I know everyone reading this who supports U.S. men's national team will be rooting for them nonetheless.
I will be.
And that's basically my argument against this bullshit here that people wanted to fill. No. You're cherry picking a couple of posters. And it's Twitter. It's Twitter. Understand that there are going to be shit posters out there that are just going to be trying to rile everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the 99.999% of the U.S. men's national team fan base want us to succeed regardless of Berhalter.
Now, there is a portion of people who believe that because Berhalter is the coach, we will not succeed. They have very little hope. Yes. That's called just being a pessimist, Andy. I don't know if you've heard of that. That's called being a pessimist. That's not somebody hoping we fail. That's usually, if you scratch a pessimist underneath, you'll find what? An optimist, right? So people want to believe. They want to believe we're going to win. But even if they don't, they hope for, in some weird miracle way, we managed to do something amazing. That's how I feel about it. And, do I want Berhalter to be the manager after the World Cup, regardless of the miracle or not? I don't want him to be. No, I don't. But that opinion will remain whether he succeeds or not. Unless he does something so shockingly different and shows me he can adapt, change, and be flexible based on the competition and change formation and tactics. And when we're losing, do something about it quickly.
Realistic, that's being called realistic. That's realistic. That's called realistic, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's that shit, which the American soccer civil war and cannibalism that he talks about,
it's too much.
It's this rhetoric right here that causes it.
Yes.
And yes, it's hyperbolic to say that. But it's this shit that sparks it, quite frankly.
If you're going to be hyperbolic, at least have a fucking sense of humor.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I was going to say
Jesus
it
too. Christ. Don't do it to make a point that's so grim and so serious and so, I don't know. What it does is like say, look at me here on this pole. I'm so fucking awesome. I can make this generalized statement about this whole group of people I barely know because I'm Andy Mead and I take photos for a living. All right. Berliner Amerikaner Twitter is false consciousness. Yes, it is.
So basically, my response was, I've not seen anyone wishing U.S. men's national team failure in Qatar. I've seen fans become disheartened by tactics and player selection and player performance.
Yep.
That they don't have confidence going into the World Cup. If they're the ones wishing for failure are truly a few, I can't write apparently. If there are some, apparently, the ones wishing for failure are truly few and far between.
Yep.
So it's, like I said, it's comments like this, and this happens all the time. It's not. I'm not just calling out Andy for this comment, but the so-called US men's national team fans. That phrase right there, the so-called fans. Even if you disagree with people's opinions, say like they're still fans. They may have a reason why they want the U.S. to fail, and I don't agree with it by any means. That's their opinion. I mean, I can understand why you might think that's a quote unquote so-called fan, but it's their right to believe it.
Well, let me be the devil's advocate here on Andy. What if you do want Berhalter to fail during this World Cup, so he's gone? Maybe you're still a U.S. men's national team fan, but maybe the way you're thinking is you're thinking long term about the
2026
about the health of the U.S. men's national team. No. You're thinking if we continue to go this direction, we're going to not get better. We're going to get worse. We're going to regress. So maybe people are thinking with Berhalter gone, the U.S. men's national team will get better. And maybe that's their concern. And they're thinking long term and you're thinking short. And that still doesn't make them bad U.S. men's national team fans, theoretically or philosophically. Or essentially.
The devil's advocate is one step back, 2 steps forward.
So, there you go. Devil's advocate argument for those who want to claim they want Berhalter to be like shit.
That doesn't discredit people as fans. They may have their own reasons for it. And I understand the concept of like, well, if you're a fan, you're never going to root against your team. Yeah, people do that all the time, actually.
I don't think they root against the team. They're rooting against Berhalter.
There you go. That's probably the best way of wording it.
Yep. They just can't stand the guy. I can't stand him either, but I'm not going to root against the team.
I'm still going to root for them to win because I want to see the team do well. My big concern would be, and we've seen this over the last 2 cycles, is that the team does what the last 2 World Cup cycles that we've been to. Yeah. We've done well, and they bring the coach back the next cycle just to watch them stagnate and flame out.
Yeah, or they eke in to the next the knockout rounds. They eke in by a sliver, like I believe Klinsmann did, right? And then we go into Belgium. So
S27 says Jet fans root against their team for higher draft picks.
I get it, and it hasn't worked yet for the Jets. They keep getting number 1 picks, and they keep picking bums to be quarterback.
All right. So this was in reference to Max had commented on this thing too. And I said, I think talking about players in the window, because I think Max mentioned MLS players do get a lot of flack more so than European counterparts. I'm paraphrasing here. And I said, I think everybody not named Turner got flack this window.
Yep.
And he said, Derek, come on, my friend. I said, no, this is Brett. Derek is too much of a boomer to have a Twitter account. Not really, but that was fun to say. His laptop would burst into flames. And yes, while Long caught flack, there was little to rejoice about this window. Some definitely don't rate Long, and that's okay. Others don't rate others.
Well, a lot of people took shit for this last window. McKenny took shit. We gave McKenny shit for this last window. But Long was certainly one of the worst. So I'm sorry. He just was one of the worst. Morris did nothing with his time. Areola wasn't horrible, but, he just did Areola.
Morris stole precious time of Josh being able to play in the center. That's what I saw.
I just thought, yeah, exactly. And then Josh didn't get another shot. So,
no, fuck that.
Anyhow, this topic, we're burning it to the ground.
I continue to talk to Max and say, any interaction on Twitter is me, the good and the bad. But if I get canceled, then we have to make sure Derek goes down with the ship too. But then Colin calls me out. And he goes, people don't get canceled for sharing the majority opinion on social media. It's really easy to scapegoat a few players rather than pointing out that the team doesn't even pass and move to the extent that every time someone receives the ball, they have 2 passing options. And I said, canceling me was a joke. One does not simply walk into Twitter and cancel Brett. Not with 10,000 men. It's a folly. It's a nice Lord of the Rings reference if anybody gets that one.
You and who? What army?
Yeah. But then he calls me a gaslighter. And I'm like, Colin, pump the brakes. Why lie? I haven't lit my gas grill all summer on principle. Charcoal or go home.
Wow, someone is just not getting humor, are they?
No.
I don't know what you could possibly be gaslighting about, but okay. Colin,
what it is.
Sometimes, dude, you gotta really soak up like whatever. I don't know.
Understand who we are.
No, not just that, but I mean, you got to understand sarcasm. You got to understand kidding, joking. I don't feel like he gets it a lot. Sometimes it just whoosh right over his head. I don't know why that is, but some people have social, disorders that just don't allow them to pick up on jokes.
I will say though, Colin again called us out for how we claim to be. Well, let's look at this. Oh no, it's
more calling us out.
Son of a bitch.
Christ.
Well, hold on. It's going to take a second to find this now because goddamn Twitter. I swear.
Well, I mean, I don't want to give this too much time, but
no. This is going to jump into the actual topic.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, because I don't want to rail all over Colin. I'm not here.
No. Yeah.
Or anything, but at some point, you got to know who we are, and you can't take everything we say like 100% seriously, because that's not going to work out real well. So that's something to keep in mind, Colin, as you move forward.
Okay. So obviously the topic here is basically how mainstream media is finally jumping on board with criticizing Berhalter and talking about how the system's broke, right?
Right. So
Colin was nice enough to find us a mainstream media who was ahead of the game.
Okay.
And he says, in a recent show, Straight Red tried to claim that they were the first, along with the new U.S. men's national team fan media, to point out Gregg's system didn't work and that the media wouldn't get on board. Lots of these channels basically claim that only they know anything.
That is not what we claim at all. Hold on. What we claimed was that they didn't. They actually, in many cases, did know it, but wouldn't say it. That's a whole different thing. We were saying it. Pete was saying it. Tack was saying it. All right. Jake was saying it. Sam was saying it to some extent too. Everybody's been worried about the system for some time, but not everyone said it. All right. We had to wait for Twellman to say it this week, although he said, I've never been a fan of the system. No, you've never said it, though. You've never said it. He was on Hurt Show. He finally said, I was never a fan of it. Well, you should have said something months ago.
I would say Hurt and Seb were definitely ahead of the game on that front.
Yes.
And
even Lawless
is needed.
Even Lawless in that one of those first interviews with Berhalter as the new coach said, hey, as a coach, you're not going to have time to put your little club system in. You're going to have to be more flexible. Are you ready to do that? And Berhalter lied. He said, yes, he'd be willing to do that.
I want to go out on another straw man that always comes out too. And when people talk to Tact or to Pete and they say, you guys are MLS haters, Berhalter haters, blah, 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 blah. The fact of the matter is, if people actually watch their content, or even watch our content, just a nice little plug there, they would realize that when something happens that's good, Berhalter does a good job prepping the team, calls the right players in, right formation according to us, all opinions, of course. But when he does well, just like a player, we give him praise. We say, hey, Berhalter, you did a good job there. And it's happened a number of times over qualifying.
We have said it, yes.
Yeah. We said it during Gold Cup when he eked out the actual win against Mexico. We said, hey, it wasn't the prettiest, but you managed to do a good job, and we've said it about a number of games too.
I think it's not
like we're just sitting here shitting on Berhalter all the time.
The thing about the Nations League and the Gold Cup was the way we played eventually when we played Mexico wasn't Berhalter ball. We played a lot. We didn't play brave out of the back, right? We didn't do that shit. But we're back to doing that again. And we're back to having the two center backs staring at each other, both shaking in their boots, wondering who's going to launch one first, because who's going to get in trouble with Gregg first. Yeah. So I don't want to be there, but that's where we're back to now. We're back to this. And when did Gregg, as soon as we qualified for the World Cup, all of a sudden, System. Every fucking interview talking about his fucking system. The arrogant prick suddenly thinks it's all about him. He's a fucking genius that got his third in the qualifying table.
Never happened once in our history, Derek. Come on.
Now he's a fucking goddamn genius, and all we're gonna, even the players talk about his fucking system. Now it makes me want to vomit. I'm sick of that shit. At least hide it, bury it. Don't let everybody know that's what everyone on the team's obsessed with. So that's where we are. We're back to Berhalter thinking his system is the jizz, and all girls should have it. All right.
So this is a tweet from June 19th, 2019. This is pre-COVID. This may have been during the tenure where Adams may have been frequented at right back. Actually, this is probably Adams was probably injured this time period because there's a time where he started at right back for a while, and then he got injured for about a year. So, and
you got to give Gregg credit. He went on Colin's show twice after this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we probably forgot about this tweet. Berhalter doesn't seem like you got to forget about things.
Mm-hmm.
No,
but he went on Herc and Seb show too. What does that say?
Yeah, he's making the rounds. And I guess to put it fair with Berhalter, he definitely goes. He definitely doesn't shriek back from talking to the people who are critical of him.
Yeah, but
USSF may not necessarily put anybody critical in front of him. That's a little different, though.
Well, I think after you just qualified for the World Cup, how much criticism can somebody level against you would be the question. And so even Seb and Herc, I think, they used the right language. They got their questions asked.
Yeah, they asked the questions in the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and they made them, their questions were answerable by Gregg at that time. So.
Yeah.
But Colin Cowherd said the new U.S. men's national team coach, Gregg Berhalter, has a system. He's trying to fit players into it. It's not working. Wow, even he noticed. Why not identify your top players, Pulisic and Weston McKennie, and build a system around them? McKennie is a real talent. It looks lost now. I will say this about Colin Cowherd. He is one of the only super mega mainstream sports commentators who actually talks about soccer. No one else does. So
yeah. Let's scroll down through the comment section here real quick.
All right.
This is kind of fun. Ooh, there's Taylor Twellman. Tyler Adams and Pulisic, not McKennie. If you find your spine, then that helps the entire thing. Who are your center backs? Adams at 6, Pulisic out wide, build around that.
Okay.
Fair enough. I mean, that's Schalke McKennie right there. Before he moved over to Juventus. But even then,
I still think that none of them looked that great. So I would disagree with Taylor. None of them looked that great.
So I'm not going to be able to find them, of course, going through here, but anything. But there are a number of people on here that are like, Colin, do you even soccer without actually taking into consideration it? And I wanted to preface by saying this: we never said that from the get-go that Berhalter ball was going to fail. I never did. I said this on a previous recent live stream that I was on the board with say, hey, let's give Berhalter a chance. Okay, this didn't work, but maybe he's going to change some things up as we move on. And he did. He didn't put Adams at right back again until Honduras.
As a general concept, there's nothing wrong with Berhalter ball. The problem is, as we've said before, the jumping over mouse turds for every player, filling them with too much information, giving them too much information, restricting what they feel comfortable doing on the field by saying you're not allowed to do that. That's got to stop. That cannot go on. No player can play under that kind of tight rectum. And we've talked about Berhalter's rectum here. It is too suffocating. He's got strong anal muscles. He needs to unpucker a little. All right, 109 in. We've talked about the mainstream media. We've talked about our media. I don't know, what do you want to call us? New media? New soccer media? Is that what people call us?
Kind of, yeah.
We're not new. I mean, we're far from new. We've been around, and then we left, and then we're back. So we're not new.
Never mentioned, though.
Yeah, no.
Indie content creators. I don't know.
I mean, it's big.
Whatever you want to word it.
As big as big soccer can get you. You know.
Hey, back in the day, man, that was the shit.
It was. It was the jizzicle.
People knew you.
And people were buying those popsicles. on a regular. And that metaphor could go all kinds of directions. All right, are we about done, or do we want to take more questions before we go?
We got our Twitter question still.
All right.
But yeah.
109.
As a whole,
I don't know what else to say about this topic.
It's stuff, and we pointed it out. Like again, it's stuff that we've all been saying. And when I say we all, I'm just not talking about like you, me, Pete, and Dak, and Sam, and all. But I'm talking about the overall community as a whole. That you're getting labeled this toxic, anti-MLS, and the opposite side of the Civil War, and all that shit.
Well, I'm sorry.
So we've been saying this. We've been saying this shit for years.
It's just the establishment media who suck as Berhalter schlong up until pretty recently. They were still snobbing on it. And now, even in the questions that they ask Berhalter during interviews, they lightened the questions up. They had to because they knew they had to. That's how that works. Because they want to be able to go back and continue to ask questions. But the problem with that cycle is you keep asking pussy questions so you can come back and ask more pussy questions. That doesn't see at some point that cycle's got to end.
Greg, are you going to play a striker in the next match? Yes, I am. Thank you, Greg.
Greg, does that mean that striker won't see the ball hardly at all? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Get the fuck out of here.
Take his pass away.
Strikers don't score goals. They do other shit, right?
Right. They check back for the ball.
Zach had a comment about Holland having scored his third hat trick in 3 games, consecutive games.
Yeah.
And talking about how he's a great goal scorer, but he's lacking on certain other aspects of the striker role. I'm like, I would take a striker any goddamn day of the week if he's scoring hat trick after hat trick. I don't care if he's coming back to play with his back to the goal. That doesn't bother me or any of that shit. If he's scoring that many fucking goals, I don't care.
How would Holland look?
I was joking. I was laughing about it, but yeah.
I know. How would Holland look in Gregg's system if he were American?
He wouldn't fit because he's scoring goals.
He's too tall. He's too big. He doesn't press enough.
I mean,
I
would have called you in, but you don't fit our system. We need strikers who play as team players.
And your eyes are too close together.
It's like, but Greg, I score goals. I score goals. I put ball in net.
Were you making him Russian?
Yeah, more or less.
Last I checked, he's Norwegian.
Ball goes in net.
What was it? The guy on the Muppets? It was the Swedish chef.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sounds more like that, probably. Although his English.
Jasper, I would take 1 goal a game in Gregg's system as a striker. I would accept that. That'd be great. We'd probably win. We'd win almost all of our games.
Yeah. I would jizz in my pants if that would happen. But unfortunately, he's Norwegian. And we probably won't see him in many World Cups because of that, unfortunately. In his whole career.
They qualified this World Cup, didn't they?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think they did.
I don't remember.
Pretty sure they did.
Maybe they did.
I'm sure he had like 45 goals in qualifiers. It was funny because Twitter was broadcasting this stat.
Let us know in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, it'll come up here. I come finish here. Nope. Chris Gary says nope.
So no, I didn't think so. Yeah,
that sucks for him, man. Oh well, he'll still make billions and billions of dollars at the club level. Fuck it.
I didn't think they did, but you made me doubt myself. Congratulations.
So, but Twitter was broadcasting all week this stat. It was by CBS, I think, posted it. And it's like the number of goals scored by the time the player turned 22. It's like Lionel Messi had 44 goals. Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo had 56. Erling Haaland has 147. It's like
it's crazy.
Shit. I mean, I know we're talking about 3 different types of players there, and of course, he's going to play in a team where he's playing in positions, or he's playing for a team where he's going to be given the ball all the time to score goals. I guess so was Messi and so was Ronaldo at that point. But Ronaldo spent a lot of his time out wide, But
I think that the talk was that he's probably going to break the record by the Newcastle striker from back in the day. God damn it, Alan Shearer. That's the talk. And of course, I think that was in a season when there were 26 teams in the Premier League. So there were more games. I think Shearer scored somewhere in the 60s, somewhere like that. he could beat that this year. He really
Yes,
could.
Chris, absolutely. Playing in Norway and Austria first off definitely helped. But he's what, like right now, like 19? Maybe 20?
20,
Maybe 20?
21?
I mean, he was at Dortmund for like 2 years, and he was still like under 19 at that time.
I can guarantee you this.
Yeah, I'm sure he scored a shit ton of goals in Norway and Austria, but I mean, he's still spent most of his time in Bundesliga and now EPL at this point, 3 years.
He's a weird motherfucker, but he's
22.
No
Fuck, I'm way off now. Never mind, guys. You're right.
he's no virgin. I can guarantee you that much.
Sure.
That matters.
You're putting up that amount of goals, man. You get all the ladies.
I'm just saying.
3 hat-tricks, 3 games. You know.
Yes.
It means I get 9 girls, right? Yeah.
You're making them Russian again. All right.
I'll do that. I mean, it's practically Russian at that point, right?
Yeah. You're like
it's across
Boris.
the sea.
You're like Boris, what's his face on Squirrel and Moose. All right.
I was going to go Boris from 007 GoldenEye. I'm invincible.
I was talking about Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
We've got questions.
All right. Let's do these. It's almost an hour and 20 in here. 8-Bit Jeff D. Fulton asks, they are finally saying it because all of the best YouTube channels have been toxically saying it for a year now, and they want to be in on the toxicity.
Yeah, they want that toxicity level. Like, oh, that looks so good.
I think for a lot of them, they've already sucked up to Gregg and US Soccer now for 4 years, and they're basically looking at it going, well, listen, we're about to go to the World Cup, and we're not going to really get to talk to Gregg much from here on out, so fuck it. Who needs access right now? No one. So he'll probably lose his job afterwards, which is what I guess most of them think. So laughing out loud, Derek, and question time. Laughing out loud, yeah. I'm always like,
time.
My question time.
Yep, toxicity of our city. Sorry, it's a music reference.
It is?
It is.
Hopefully it's not too, we built this city on rock
there you
and
go. Look at that. Everybody's got it.
Of our city. I guess I'm just an ignoramus who has no fucking clue about some of these new meme-ish things.
There you go, Derek.
I actually know.
Of our city.
I actually know who that band is. Yeah, I remember the song too. Okay, all right. Thank you. I never really.
System of a Berhalter.
That's a good one.
Somebody's got to make that meme.
Yeah.
Grab a System of a Down and just put Berhalter's name, a face on the lead singer, and then put all of his assistant coaches on the rest of the band.
I do remember that song though. That's funny. Gregg Clownholt. Is there any chance that one of the things Gregg learned is that he is to try something else? We
learned things, Derek. We learned things.
Well, not when you're arrogant. You don't.
What did you learn? Things.
I learned I'm great. Is it even feasible to try something else at this point? Probably not. Would it be possible for him to even try a different system if he wanted to? I hate to break it to Charlie Davies, but no, it's not feasible. Or are we pretty much stuck with what we got?
We're praying.
Got us here.
We're praying and hoping. Praying and hoping that we have individuals stepping up in each game, some level of magic. You know, the system can work, like you mentioned beforehand. It can work.
I like the players get together behind the scenes without Gregg, and they go, let's pull a Costanza. Whatever Gregg says, do the opposite.
We're really gonna play a 4-3-2-1.
Hey, Musa, just hang up enough to make it look like a 4-3-3, but mostly hang back with Adams.
Pepe, it's okay to score a goal.
Aronson, I want you to move to center attacking midfielder.
We're playing with a 10.
We're playing with an actual 10. But when we don't have the ball, run out wide real quick just to make it look like you're playing a system.
And then the team wins a game, and Burrow's like, yep, that's all part of the system right there, guys.
Dagnabbit, I got it right this time. I like the way Aronson cut in ferociously through the whole game.
I've been trying to instill that on them all cycle. They weren't listening to me, apparently.
He almost played as a CAM, really, if you look at it. I like that. I like the initiative that he took, but that was part of my system. Geo, go in the midfield.
Geo, go to the midfield.
Play center attacking midfield.
Don't play out wide. Why would you play there? You need to get the ball more.
Yeah, that would be great if the players got together and just kind of secretly made a plan.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go out there and make him think we're playing what he wants us to, but we're really going to play something totally different. And then we'll give him
don't worry about it.
We'll give him credit for it after the game. Hey, this game, we won it because of Gregg.
Yeah, you win the game. I was like, we went out there and we played the system just like Gregg taught us.
Make him proud. Oh, Jesus.
Oh no, this is great. We got liking. We got Alex Martinez saying this is funny as fuck.
Oh, I wish we didn't have to joke like this, though. I wish we were going into this World Cup confident and shining. And
we're gonna win the whole. I still have $10 on USMNT, so I'm hoping this is all just a sham, and Berhalter's gonna come out and be like, "Fuck all you! Look at us go!"
Come out in a 5-3-2, 5-3-2, or something weird like that.
A 1-1-1-1-1-1-1.
Or one of what's Samson's weird ass lineups? What, like a 4-6-1 or whatever the fuck?
4-6-1. Holy shit! Playing with sleeper keepers.
3-6-1. Is that what he played? I believe it was.
Yeah.
Also, I love the Disney World roster predictions from last week and felt inspired to do my own. I decided, however, to do a fairy tale formation starting 11. A 5-4-1 with wingbacks allows Dess and Robinson to get forward and get Reina Pulisic to pinch centrally. We can dream. Yes, we can.
Here's his Pete Pulisic, Reina, Lusa Adams, Robinson, Dess, Reams, Zimmerman, and Brooks. Oof, that is a slow center back line right there.
But okay.
There's three of them.
Yep, there is.
It's weird having a Ream on the right-hand side, though. I think Zimmerman pushes out right, Brooks pushes center, and Ream goes out left.
How much?
Or maybe Ream center. I don't know. Ream center?
No, I like Ream and Brooks out there, although it'll be weird to see Ream play right center back.
That's what I'm saying,
yeah. But still, imagine the through balls that Ream and Brooks could lace. Really, honestly. So the mainstream media always seems to call out the issues well after the fact. Meanwhile, independent creators and fans alike have had issues with Gregg's system since 2019, some even earlier than that. Better later than never. It's really frustrating now to see everybody all of a sudden see the guiding light.
Well, no, it's not frustrating to see the media say that, because I imagine it was always going to happen that way. They're going to get overcritical as far as we get closer to the World Cup itself. Always going to happen, probably. Unless we're just lights out dominating. What drives me nuts are all the people that were, all the other fans that were sitting here going like, yo, you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're toxic, you're a moron.
For being
and then all of a sudden, the mainstream starts saying the same thing we've been saying. They're like, oh, yeah, that's brilliant.
Now it's time. Yes, it is time to worry now.
We should have noticed that earlier.
Way too late to worry now. You should have worried a long time ago. You should have been concerned a long time ago. What were you waiting for? I don't know. But, for those of you who are worried now and now are watching this show, I'm not trying to throw it in your face, but just like Brett and I do on the show, I think if you believe that and now you've changed your mind, it's always good. It's acceptable to eat crow in public in front of everybody. It's totally acceptable. We do it. We've done it very rarely because we are very rarely wrong. But when we are, we admit it. And we are happy to eat crow here. Happy. Absolutely happy.
My wife texted me 55 minutes ago saying, hey, when you have a free minute, bring me some bang bang shrimp from not an innuendo.
Is that what you called
saying that her follow-up is even better now, because she goes, bring me a snack even if I'm already asleep.
Oh, so she wants you to bring your little bam bam shrimp to bed, and even if she's asleep, she still wants a snack.
I'm not a big fan of calling it a shrimp, but
bring your shrimp, and even if, baby, I'm asleep, you get your snack.
Whatever.
right.
We'll go with shrimp bucket. Why not?
She's your wife. If you guys are into sleep sex, that's on you. And she could probably
More
sleep
on me
through
than
it.
her. Like,
She could probably sleep through it since you have a little shrimp bam bam.
yeah.
I thought it was yum
What's
yum.
happening there? Nothing. Back to sleep.
Just a little insertion.
Just go back to sleep.
You'll hardly notice, honey. I thought that was yum yum sauce, not bam bam.
Yeah.
So you got the bam bam?
Bang bang shrimp.
Okay.
Bang bang shrimp. That's what she said was.
Do they serve that?
It definitely has yum yum sauce in it because when I tried it, because I'm not a big seafood guy.
Yeah.
Not a big seafood guy at all. Derek likes to make fun of me every time I go to a seafood restaurant and I get like a steak. Like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, I don't like seafood. Seafood's grass.
You're such a foodie and you don't like seafood. It just blows my mind.
Bad experiences when I was young. I've got to get over it, but
yeah. Well, shrimp's a good place to start. Yeah,
the seasoning, the sauce for it definitely had some yum yum in it.
Yeah, it's called yum
yum based.
Yeah. Was it sort of orange, red, light red?
Light red, yeah.
That's yum yum.
I know what yum yum is. Yum yum is fucking delicious, man.
Yes,
it does. The boss.
It is the boss. It's really not hard to make either. By the way, I make my own yum yum here. I do.
A part of hey,
when you're
like it. Hey.
When you're single and you live alone, you got to make your own yum yum. All right, is that it, or do you got more questions? Oh.
That's it. I'm gonna have to make a video of you just going, "Is that it?" every single time.
When the fuck is this over?
We barely scraped.
Some ideas for recorded shows. Gregg, and the boys on September camp. That's going to be really hard to do.
We never got around to doing that. We talked about doing it, but we never got around to doing it.
I mean, it would be a lot of bad grades.
It literally would be. It'd be Turner.
I mean, they'd all be held back a grade. Let's just say that much.
Yeah.
I'll look into.
Don't want to be graded on that curve.
No, I look into Berhalter replacements after Qatar. Yeah, we're going to do that, and actually, I think we talked about it a little here.
Yeah, Derek keeps saying it's going to be Berhalter.
I unfortunately believe that Berhalter is going to keep his job as long as he gets out of the group, even if he squeezes it out, by a queef. He's going to stay in. Maybe, and that's him, his queef, by the way. Maybe some blasts from the past and talk about the old days. I don't know if everybody's going to love that, Chris. I know, because they're going to be like.
We were talking about. I mean, you were talking about going back through the old videos and finding if there are any snippets that were worthwhile bringing back up.
There are some that are definitely not politically correct that we cannot ever bring back. Like the time
build this persona.
The cartoon where Ronaldo gets abducted by aliens
and probed
and anally probed. I don't think we can bring that cartoon back. I don't even know if it's still out there. It might be. It could still be out there, but yeah, we might do it. I'll rewatch it and I think, okay, that's really not that bad. I'll put it up there. I mean, not that bad as it's not offensive. All right, Indiana. I would go to a Mexican restaurant called El Rodeo.
Yes, there are many of them, and Berlin saying yes, El Rodeo.
Or do they say rodeo? Because that would be not very Spanish if they said rodeo, right?
Rodeo.
Rodeo Drive. So yeah, we might do some blasts from the past.
It's gonna take some time and effort for us to really dig through those, though.
And then, like I said, just some of them are inappropriate, like when Klinsman's hanging out with what's her name, the goalkeeper in the United States. Oh yeah, he's hanging out in Hope Solo's hotel room, giving her a lesson on how to deal, how best to stop penetration to her box. Yeah, it's some weird shit there. So. And Danny Zetela puking all over the hotel room.
I mean, those are all D-Rec videos, though, man. We've got to have some gems within our actual podcasts. We can always bring back the video where we said Serbia was going to lose.
Oh yeah, and then we got
more death threats.
Yeah, that was fun. We're gonna come and slit your throat, motherfucker. Okay, yeah. All right. Well, then Serbia will make it out of the group. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Nez Nargo. What the hell is the system anyway? Center backs make 5-yard passes back and forth to each other. Pass into Adams. He passes it back. Maybe get it to Dest on occasion. He dribbles around, whips a poor cross into the box to nobody.
That's Japan and Saudi Arabia game right there.
Yeah, that is the system.
That is the system.
It's fairly consistent. I'll give Greg that. Although somebody was saying the other day, what system? A real system works. Death threats. Yes, we did get death threats back in 2009.
The 2010 World Cup.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was the Australia, Serbia, and 2 other teams, whatever that group was. And we predicted Australia and whatever the other group was, like Germany or whatever, getting out of the group. And we predicted Serbia getting dead last. Yeah. And that was a pre-World Cup video, and we got I'm fucking Serbian and we're gonna fucking slit your throat and that type of shit. Yeah. On the comment section, and it was just like, okay, look at this. We made it, guys.
We had our emails up there too, and so people were sending us death threats through email too. They're gonna come and slit our throat and kill our kids and all this kind of weird shit. Serbians are pissed off motherfuckers, man.
10 years later of just constantly mocking the concept that we're going to get murdered, but
yeah,
happens. There we go. With Ghana and Germany, was Ghana in that group?
Must have been.
We predicted Australia beating Ghana. Wow. Okay, look at us.
I don't know. No, we just predicted. I mean, was it? Yeah, it must have been Serbia. We just predicted they'd finish last in the group.
No, we finished it. Yeah. Hey, guess what they did? Guess what? We got that group fucking right, 100%. It's just like, we went back like, suck it, bitches. No.
We were right. We didn't gloat because we didn't really want to be throat slit. Yeah.
We've been told by many people not to fuck with Serbians, so.
Can you all show us pictures when y'all were banging women in goals in high school or in college? I want to see if I could have taken on the greats at soccer when y'all were at y'all's peak. Well, there are pictures of me I posted up here before playing soccer in high school.
Yeah, I mean, I can get a picture of me from high school up there, but I'll dodge the banging women aspect.
But Alex, honestly, we didn't, unlike you these days, we didn't have these little things called phones that had cameras on them. So, filming sex with your partner in high school. Wow.
Put the video recorder. The thing was like on your shoulder, and you're like, oh, we'll get a tripod, I guess.
I mean, you'd have to set that shit up in the room.
Procedure, yeah.
Yeah, and it costs money, and it was expensive and shit like that. You couldn't just do it on your phone now. But if I had a phone,
you got on your head and everything. We didn't have that shit, man.
If I had a phone when I was in high school, damn, I would have a whole collection of fucking videos. But I'm glad I did.
Young adults these days, I'm avoiding the kid comment there, but young adults these days, college kids, you just have the GoPro strapped to your head. You're good to go.
Oh, and they're sending beaver shots and dick poses to each other constantly. So, yeah, we didn't do that back then. We just didn't have the technology to film all that great action. But I don't know. That was a long time ago. Jose says, are we getting near the bottom here?
Could be.
Okay, could be. I heard Derek used to work for Colin Cowherd.
It's true. Yes, he was a ghostwriter, and that's how Colin had all that information back in 2019.
Oh, you must have made a joke about this.
I did.
Oh, okay. No, I never worked for Colin Cowherd.
It's the next Berhalter. It's the next Miazga kicking dog. Derek worked for Colin Cowherd.
I was let go and escorted out of the building when Derek punched Colin in the face simply for suggesting we should make up our own lineup. And Derek responded with, "We don't do fairy tale bullshit lineups." I obtained video as well. Hey, man, post that if you have it.
There you are. Suck it, Colin. Colin Cowherd, by the way. Just specifying there.
All right. That's very funny. Next coach for 2026, assuming Gregg doesn't resign. I'm thinking Roberto Martinez, maybe even Deschamps. Oh, no. But that is less likely.
You're like, oh, no. I don't even know. I mean, I don't even want to try to predict this shit. Because, I mean, you have to imagine. So it could go one of two ways. Let's just say Berhalter gets out of the group and does well. Let's just say the system works. We get out of the group and we do well. Berhalter gets rehired and we're stuck with that for 2026.
I'll take Roberto Marino. Martinez, excuse me. I'll take Deschamps over Berhalter, but I don't think that Deschamps would do that well. At least Roberto Martinez would be familiar with our players. I think he keeps up with American soccer.
The other option is USSF looks at another MLS journeyman coach and lowballs an offer and brings them in.
How about Matarazzo? How about March?
It's 2026. We're hosting the World Cup. USSF has to go balls out for this shit.
Well,
Let's get somebody who can do well. So like here's a name.
How about Hugo Perez? I'd take him. I'd take him in a second.
I think he can do well. He knows our players.
He's pragmatic as well.
Yeah.
Very pragmatic. He will build a team, not around a system. He will bring in the best players and create something for those players that suits them. That's what Hugo Perez would do. The problem is that's not what fucking the dumb fuckers at US Soccer want. So keep that in mind. They want to change the way the rest of the world sees American soccer.
Unfortunately, it was for the worse this cycle.
Yes.
People are chomping at the bit, saying we know how to play the United States in this World Cup. This should we can contend this. Yeah, we can contend this. Yep. We just got to play this way.
Even Iran right now is going, hell yes, this is going to be good. Wales is too, by the way, and England's just laughing in their spotted dick.
Spotted dick.
Because they fell asleep during the last game they played for their manager, who sucks too. So he and Berhalter should get a fucking room together.
I think they do. I think in the World Cup they do. Now I will say
they are good friends.
Greg, you may want to watch out. If you guys share a room with him, you might get arrested. I'm just saying.
Ooh, and both teams could play each other without the two managers? That would be a hot game. I'd watch that. All right.
What about Tuchel? Tuchel's available.
Hell
no.
I think
USSF is reaching out. Hey, I know Pulisic got you fired and all, but maybe you could hold off on getting another job, and after November we'll hire you. You can coach Pulisic again.
No. Listen, I enjoy sleep, but not that much. Thank you.
That's it's better than a lot of the PM medicines you can get.
It is. I found it very hard to get through a Chelsea game until after Tuchel left. Next coach for 2026. All right, we already did that one. Yeah. As a casual fan, Gregg has made me lose interest in the U.S. men's national team. Hey, join the party of uncasual fans who feel the same way. Do I wake up in the middle of the night to watch a shit performance in the World Cup? Probably not. You don't have to wake up in the middle of the night.
It's not going to be. Yeah,
it's going to be on
the opposite side of the world.
Yeah, it's going to be on at 2 p.m., my friend. Every
single game is 2 p.m. for us
Eastern time, so you'll get to watch it live.
How does that work out? What time is that in? What time is that in Qatar?
It's got to be pretty late.
Like 11 p.m.
I would guess it's a late game, and they're doing that just for heat reasons. Even though
every game's under the lights, guys.
Yeah, a lot of night games.
Holy shit! I didn't even think about that until just now. It's like that's insane.
Or early evening, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, at 2 p.m. would be like a decent.
It's an 8
in Germany or whatever,
It's about an 8 o'clock game, I believe, in Qatar. So 8 p.m.
You think? Wait. You think Qatar's like a 6-hour layover from us?
Yeah.
No.
Maybe 7.
That's like Germany time right there.
Well, that's about 6 or 7 hours, depending on where you're.
Yeah, that's like Germany time. I'm not saying Qatar's further east. Further.
Yeah, they are technically. Maybe another hour. I don't know. All right. Anything else?
It's 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m. Berlin time. 2 p.m. our time. 8 p.m. Berlin time. So yeah, it's got to be like 11 p.m. kickoff.
No,
it has to be.
It's not. No, it's not that far. Draw a line all the way up. I believe they end up somewhere in Poland, which is an adjacent country to Germany.
What time is it in Qatar?
Qatar.
4:55
a.m. So
yes.
That's only a 5-hour difference. Wait, no.
Why? What the fuck are you smoking?
So
wait, 7. It's almost 10 o'clock now. 10 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7. I guess it's 7. 7? Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Shit.
It is.
All right. You know what, guys? The world is in fact round.
That's what I was trying to tell you.
Oh man. Those global maps, man, they just fuck you right over.
Yep. And
man,
they make certain countries look bigger too on the globe.
Idiot here. Yeah, I know that too. Yeah, that I know.
All right, let's go to Bentley, or unless
Jesus, straight red and math.
Hey, I had it right. Don't even take.
I couldn't fathom that they were on the same fucking time zone. I'm looking at that. I'm thinking that map through, and I'm like, "There's no fucking way." I mean, you know what? I'm wrong. This is one of those moments, guys. I'm wrong. I'm happy to say I'm wrong, but
you don't need to eat crow or anything. But just keep in mind, I memorized every single country in the world, so not on purpose. I just know them all. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I know countries too, but I would never can imagine that Qatar is on the same cycle as Germany. It's news to me. I mean, round. I gotta keep thinking round. It's not a flat Earth.
Well, keep in mind too, Germany is about the size of Indiana and a little slice of Ohio and Iowa, so it's not as big as you think it is. And fuck off, the world is flat. Yeah. We learned that in college. All right, who taught the course? Derek, when Twitter questions segments starts. I'm gonna head out.
I'm head out.
I'm not heading out. I stuck it out, guys. I usually do. You know, it's just I'm old. Yeah. So, you know, it starts to head towards 10 o'clock, and I'm like, but no, I stay awake for you guys. CF, who's a better manager, Klinsmann or Gregg? I can't believe I'm going to say this.
I would go to Klinsmann.
Klinsmann.
Yeah. I would absolutely take Klinsmann any fucking day of the week at this point.
And I cannot stand Jurgen Klinsmann. So that says a lot. I'm sorry. He was just a lot more flexible. I mean, like we said before, they're the polar opposites of one another. Like Klinsmann didn't give a fuck about tactics.
They both had systems, but at least Klinsmann decided that he would eventually
give it up. Yes, he gave it up.
That takes us full circle back. That whole argument, like we've got to find an identity as a nation. I'm like, we fucking had an identity the entire fucking time. Perfect that. Improve upon that.
Make
Slightly
that better.
change it, but don't fucking start from scratch.
Yeah, you don't need to totally abandon it, and you don't have to play that limp dick 4-3-3 we play. You can play other things. You don't have to play that. And by the way, a 4-3-3 doesn't have to be a limp dick either. But the way Gregg plays it, it certainly is a useless, very useless, saggy ass 89-year-old dick.
Yeah, he cut Donovan out for being out of shape, so we're all fucked.
Yeah, would cut. Well, yeah, but you know what? We've said this before on here, and you and I know it.
Yeah,
Landon Donovan was not out of shape. He won the sprint to your die contest at camp before he was cut. He was the last player to still be running during that, so he was totally fit. Beckerman was already on the side puking. And he talked about it.
Three steps. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is the worst. What the hell?
I know. And he was heaving and throwing up, but Donovan was still running. So that whole thing where people used to say he wasn't fit for that World Cup, that is the biggest lie that has been put out there by Nimrods who had no idea about the truth.
Yeah. And
we've talked about the truth here at least two other times, and we don't have to go back into it, but
that was enough. We've covered it there.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. Sean Week says mainstream media is only talking about the system because they think they can get the viewers from the independent soccer media side.
No,
do you think they're trying to take stake in our neck of the woods?
They're trying to butter our toast. Is that what you're saying? They're trying to lather up our.
They're trying to tickle all of our listeners' pickles. Wait, what? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, they're trying to water our walnuts. I don't know. I don't think they still care that much. But they have spent a year and a half trying to lambaste Pete and Tact They've left us alone for the most part. Nobody comes up and says nasty things to us, but
that's because 90% of our shows, us with a smile. We always have a smile, even when we're sad and unhappy.
How many times though has it happened? It did to me on I stopped going there Facebook, where I'd post something up and somebody say something absolutely vitriolic, and they'd be one of those new blue check people, and then somebody like Brian or somebody else would show up and say, "Hey, no, these guys are cool."
Yeah.
What? Of course we're cool.
We got peeps. We got peeps.
And how many times have we had to say it to our mainstream friends that Pete and Tack were cool too?
And you know what? They may not necessarily get along with each other all the time, but at least they started listening to each other.
Yeah.
So that's good.
It's good. We're moving in the right direction. Except, the reason they're really coming out now is because they've got really nothing to lose, because they don't believe Gregg's going to make it through this World Cup. Michael O'Malley. Again, that sounds like a rap, a hip hop song I've heard before. God damn it.
One of the unknown singers to Beastie Boys.
It's not House of Pain. It's the other one.
Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain.
Those guys. Anyhow, or they are reflecting the fact that more and more of the fan base have come to the same conclusion about the system. And how about the fact that Berhalter and his players have not given us a single breathing moment without the word system coming up a quadrillion times in every interview.
Thank you, Ruffy. Thank you.
Cypress Hill. Yep.
For the life of me, I'm like, I can't think of it. What the fuck can I think about it? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I couldn't remember it either.
Oh my goodness.
And I used to love
Everybody's got it. Everybody's got it.
I have all three of their first records, and I still can't remember their fucking name. Yeah. But it is 10:02, and it is late, and I am 51 years old. Yeah. All right. Is that it?
That's your favorite phrase, isn't it? Do you see this out here? Do you see this?
Yeah.
That means there's something below it, Derek.
Okay. Let's go down. Markeloff, the usual. I thought your Disney starting 11 was spot on. The only switch I would make is Slonina over Johnson. I have no problem with that. Neither of them are going to play. If we play in a 3-5-2 formation, who would be your starting CB wing backs and strikers up top? Would like to see an overall grade to each player this past camp. Again, bad grades across the board. So
just assume, and if your name's not Turner, it's fuck.
And there's no way I'm doing a 3-5-2 right now. No way. Not happening. I mean, we could roll through one real fast, but you already know what they're going to be. Most of you guys.
Yeah, a lot of that's not going to change. I mean, as far as the big question is going to be who the two strikers are.
Yep.
And, one striker is going to be questionable. Like, it could be any of the, the Peacock. They could be the Sergeant. But the secondary striker is going to be the big question, whether or not it's like a Weah or a Ferreira or whatever. But that'd be the big question marks. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, pretty much. Alex says, all right, guys, I'm going to sleep for Derek. You're going to go to sleep for me? That doesn't work that way, Alex. Good luck, Derek. Great show. He's like, yeah. Am I really coming off as that tired? Derek, are we there yet? Yeah. Shut up. Sit back down before I come back there and get some to the kids. Yeah. They're saying it now because it's that obvious. There's nothing that can be done, and perhaps they feel 3G is out the door no matter what. So there's very little risk to their precious access.
Kind of
I would agree.
Process, yeah.
And guess what? Here's this. There is power in numbers. Okay. If you ask Gregg a really embittered question, and you were the only one of the 30 guys asking the questions that did it, you're out. But if everybody does it, everyone has the same conclusion, everyone making the same comments, you can't kick them all out. Okay? So there's power in numbers there all of a sudden, right? Not playing the system. Starting at my sandals, that's a paddling.
I'm staring at my saddles.
Staring at my sandals.
Sandals.
No one should wear sandals. Feet are ugly.
Here's an idea for a recorded video, Derek.
Derek lets the cat in. Wow! Oh my God! I get attacked.
And we may have another one here, but this is probably gonna be our last one here.
All right. The only thing USSF does better than surrounding the American soccer culture with yes men is turning them against fans who question poor decisions and bad results. Well, again, I think the fact that all the yes people suddenly became not yes people shows that maybe they got together as a group and at some point said, hey, fuck this, man. Like seriously, this is bad. Let's all get together and just say fuck them all together.
The first, then what would happen is the first guy would step and be like, Greg, you're really fucking this up, man. Do something different. How about we try a different formation? Play these players in the position. And everybody else is like, Greg, I have no idea where he's coming along with that.
Yeah.
Whew.
Leave him flapping in the breeze.
He's like, that guy's like, you fuckers.
But I
go to hell.
I think there was a sort of collective sigh of relief that, okay, that's all over now. We're going to the World Cup. He's probably not going to be the coach the next time around. Yeah. And guess what? We're all saying it. And so they can't cancel all of us. They can't. Then there will be no coverage of U.S. soccer at all. So, I mean, I guess U.S. soccer can get real specific and say, you
remember when you fucked over our last coach? Yeah.
They could say, you pissed me off, but you didn't cross the line. You pissed me off, you didn't cross the line. You pissed me off, and you crossed the line. You're out. You know, they could do that at this point, but
you're welcome to join us on the presser. I'm just not taking your fucking question.
But that's a lot of work for Michael Kammerman, and he can't handle more than one interview at a time in the background where he's hovering behind a player somewhere. Like, that's his best Michael Kammerman could do. Yeah. So that's a lot of work and stress for him. All right. So I think that is it for now.
Yeah.
Make sure to write Pete as Ben Dover.
Or any other name like that.
Yeah. Hey, guys, thanks for hanging out. And you know, we're just excited about getting to the World Cup because there's going to be a lot to talk about. And it's not going to be just U.S. soccer, but we'll talk about mostly U.S. soccer. I'm really interested to just see how the whole tournament works out, period, at this point. There are lots of good players and great teams, and, yeah, it's going to be exciting. All right, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, and until the next time on the Straight Red Card, good night.
We're teammates.
Yeah, we're teammates.
I'm a good chef.
Oh, that's sick. That's sick, bro.
I can make food. Cheese as well. So.
Oh my god, bro. Yo, you gotta cook for me. Damn. Bro, I get up to cook and I just can't do it. This is tough, bro. I gotta say video games, bro. That's bad.
What about your family, bro?
I mean, yeah. Just because the way that I was living in Austria, bro, I didn't have anybody there, so like...
Of eating.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
I have so many...
Bro, I just don't even notice, to be fair. Like, but I just kind of grab it, bro. Grab a couple. There you go. Bro, this is hard. Yeah. I'd probably say him. I mean...
Do her. Yeah.
Oh no!
Matt, what the hell was that?
Wasn't me.